one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the July 9th, 2015 Manistee Township Board meeting and the July 14th meeting which pertain to the sewer and the August 9th meeting which pertain to the water system. Entertain a motion to approve those three sets of minutes, please.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Been moved, supported that the minutes of the July 9th, July 14th, and August 7th board meeting minutes be accepted and placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. The treasurer's report, you received your copy of the treasurer's report. What are your wishes?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Placed on file.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and supported that the treasurer's report be accepted and placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? You have received your July 8th Planning Commission meeting minutes. We have not received the August 6th minutes. That was just last week. Those minutes of the July 8th meeting need to be accepted.
Make a motion to accept them. I don't know if we ever did that. Once they come here, we just filed them, so
Do we accept the proposed minutes?
they're not proposed. When they get to us, they're not supposed to.
They're approved by the Planning Commission.
Right.
I just don't have a copy. They are.
Okay. Okay.
So they're just placed on file.
Okay.
There was no appeals meeting.
Correct.
In your packet, you've received your several items. Any comments on any of those issues? Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Mr. Jack?
It's about the chemicals that were put in Bar Lake Bog. That was done Wednesday, August 5th at 2:12 p.m. And he was there till 3:08 p.m.
Just a minute, hold on. August 6th?
Wednesday, August 5th.
5th.
It's done by Fountain and Irrigation Sales, Clark. They work for LRS. And anyways, the gentleman came in and went down and, this is just what I wrote off, but I can't even read half of them myself, the chemicals that he put in. But anyways, I took a picture of him doing it, but that wasn't the problem. The problem was, I didn't see any markers. They told me later there were, where they posted it, down where Chucky is on the end. But I didn't see any at the tunnel. And according to the picture, you can see he's only like 40 feet from the tunnel. There's children playing there. And are they supposed to be playing in copper sulfate and stuff? You know, I don't think so. And I was on the phone with the DEQ today for about an hour in Lansing. And they're gonna send me a full written report. They had the permit, but they said the water had to be not flowing. And I guess it wasn't flowing on that day, but the next day it was. And it's still flowing right now. I just stopped on my way here.
You're talking about the area that's right by the outlet?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to see it?
I can't see from here.
No, you can't. It's hard for me to see up close.
Which it would, just to interject, that was supposed to be done if flow was stopped.
Correct.
And I think the storm that Monday, I think closed it off.
It was a northwester. It shut it down for a little bit, but it reopened. It might have opened up 10 hours after. I came back at 5 o'clock at night, and there was still more kids playing there. And I told the parents. And Sarah Harless, I was hoping she would show up here, is Matter no more, but you can't blame her, it's her kids were in there too, Roger Yoder's, the grandkids and that. But that just gives you an idea how close he was before he did the accident.
Is this part of the lake?
That's in the bog.
Yeah, that's on the tax rolls, so. I did call Mike with RLS on that. So I got a call from Dan in regard to it.
Yeah, and it was the only place they did. They didn't do any other place, just there.
Yeah, but that was the intent. If the flow shut off, that allowed them to treat it. Last year, they were not allowed to because the flow never shut off. So when the storm shut the spillway, it allowed them the opportunity to treat it.
But then, like the very next day, it's still going, so what's the deal? You know?
Well, and none of us here are scientists,
No.
but the question that I have is, shouldn't those people with those children playing in that,
There should be adequate signage to make sure the
Exactly.
the parents are allowing the
Exactly.
kids to stay out.
There's none on the Lake Michigan side. There was one that I saw just yesterday by the tunnel on the other side, on the Bar Lake side. But Sarah told me that she had seen it the day before. But before that, I hadn't seen any, but did you know? Was there any? I hadn't seen it, either that or I was going blind, I don't know.
well, it doesn't seem like it should have been done a little differently, I think.
I just kept going back telling people that, get your kids out of there. You know, it's harmful. Who's gonna take them all full of copper sulfate? And kids are gonna swallow lake water.
Well, I'm in somewhat agreement with you. I think that people should have been notified that that was being done because nobody here is a scientist, but I'm assuming that that's a heavy concentration right in that small area.
And even right there, it's still gonna work its way down to where they're trying to catch what few minnows are in there. On the Lake Michigan side, where they didn't put any sign at all. The woman was very adamant today to me from Lansing. She said, no, that's not how it's done. And she's gonna send me a written report.
There is, Guy, can you reflect the ruling on that somewhat?
All I know is.
There is a state
there's
law
a-
or there's not?
But it's dependent on which chemical they use. Here you go.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the chemicals they used.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
I need
4,
the
5,
sign.
6, 7.
I need a copy of the sign they posted,
Uh-huh.
because that tells the restrictions on swimming or drinking or irrigation for the treated area.
It says right on the sign, it says, do not swim or bathe, do not drink water, do not use water for domestic purposes, do not water food or crops, do not let livestock.
But those are check boxes where they checked.
Yes, yes, that's the ones.
Okay.
And it says, and don't even let livestock, well, our grandkids aren't livestock.
And for how long? Did it say?
The
12
date?
hours, 24 hours?
It was, I think it was done on the next day, the 6th or the 7th.
No, does it say, is there a time
No,
limit
there's a
on
time
the
limit
treatment
on the-
process?
Oh, I didn't see that because I didn't have my reading glasses with me and I'm trying to scribble down what I can.
I'd just be guessing, not knowing what the chemicals are.
Yeah, but it's
Well, the only thing, if it's not flowing, to say something has gone over to the Lake Michigan side, might be a stretch. Would I want to have kids in there? Absolutely not. But that's where the signage is, and we'll bring that up to Mike.
And the kids
That's a meeting on Monday.
Yeah.
And the kids
But
play
the
both
signage needs
sides.
to be, in that case, much clearer than what it was for this quick job.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, you aren't going to hear any argument from us on that.
No, I hope not.
no, thanks,
I
Dan.
didn't see any signs to begin with, but then I did see 2. But then the third one popped up later for me, so, by the tunnel.
Thanks, Dan. And there is a meeting Monday of the association, and I think that should be addressed at that time.
Improvement board, not the
Yeah,
association.
yeah, they were
I'm sorry.
Not the
Yes,
association.
I'll get that eventually.
We're all struggling.
Okay, just a minute.
Oh,
Denny, one more thing there, not on that subject, but on the other, thank you very much. The wood's been removed, the boats have been removed, but the pipe is still there for the satellite dish. And we still haven't got our access post put in.
No, Danny, I realize that, and it just hasn't been a priority. I apologize, it hasn't been done, but it just hasn't been a priority.
Okay. We're gonna get it though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anyone else? Mr. Commissioner?
All right, let me give you some quick highlights. Intergovernmental committee that we're on, one thing of note there, John probably has informed you, but Robert Madako is their new director of public safety. Prison liaison, as you probably are aware, the water tower is getting painted. They do have a new food service contract because they're having some problems up there. Trinity is the name of the new contractor. And the new lights are going to be changed out to LED, and what I reported to you previously, that they're going to be kind of like if somebody's in the area, they'd automatically come up. That is not going to be the case. They're just going to be LEDs. County board for July. We were informed Consumers Energy is going to be putting in their smart meters in this area for 16, I believe it is, 2016. The airport, we're still in the process of trying to get that I's dotted and T's crossed from what we did back in, I believe it would have been around 2000, somewhere in there, when the city owned it. The county took over the airport, and it is the property of the airport authority, but it's, which is an offspring of the county, if you will. But the authority has full authority over the airport. There is no millage going there, but anyway, we've got to get things, some I's dotted and T's crossed, so the FAA recognizes it as who is actually in charge of it. So that's ongoing. We do have the household hazardous waste that's coming up this coming Saturday up to the Soil Conservation District. As I was talking to you guys earlier at that MTA meeting, I had a little bit of a discussion on oak wilt fungus that's going through the state to some degree. And kind of the one thing that I got out of it is they tell you do not cut any branches or prune any oaks from April 15th to July 15th, because that allows the fungus to come in. If you do it when they're dormant. And once it's in, and then it goes through the root system. So as we were talking earlier, is the way to do that is they put a 5-foot trench through it, cutting it and the root system to keep it from traveling through the roots. It could be a major issue for us, and I'm sure in some areas it is. Road Commission, they're working on Stronach is trying to get a parking lot put in down by their playground area, where, what type of road is that comes in there with the semis? Yeah, but they've got a problem with parking down there, so they're working on that with them. They signed a couple of contracts with Onecum and Pleasanton. They have some new road work done, and as you probably are aware, MDOT, Manistee is going to the Traverse City office. We're not going to be no longer the stepson of Cadillac, so we want something with MDOT to be to head towards TC. And as we already stated, the Bar Lake Improvement Board meets on the 17th. I will get the agenda out hopefully in the next 24 hours, because you're just sitting on a computer, I just got to send it out. That's all I've got at the moment. Oh, the other thing is we had that meeting at the hospital, which I know Guy and Dennis, you were there. Are you guys going to request a speed study from the state police for something this side of the hospital?
Yeah, the township
has to request it.
The local unit of government.
Haven't heard a thing since that day of that meeting.
Yeah, but what I would strongly recommend to you guys is just take a vote on it and do the formal request so we can get something moving. And it's not like we're talking about, changing something to 45 in the middle of a 55 or a 40. We're talking about an extension here of what, a mile and a half tops? to try to keep things slowed down out there?
Well, the 6 representatives from the MDOT that were at that meeting suggested that you could
Bureaucrats.
possibly increase that speed.
Well, they can increase it from where, from 55.
I thought a lot about that study and the presentation that I've seen at the inter-county governmental meetings. And we have a lot of traffic here from benefit of the doubt, May through August, 5 through 8. The balance of the year, you could walk across that highway probably for the most part, I think, without a problem. Now, if there's traffic counters out there telling you that I'm totally wrong, I'll stand corrected. But the traffic is summer tourism traffic. So if we change the speed limit for 3 or 4 months out of the year, is that fair to the residents that live here then all year?
Well,
Food for thought.
yeah, I guess what I would argue is with Meyer here,
Don't argue with it.
it's my nature, John. Is that, anyway, with Meyer here, with the, that's a major employment area. You've got the sheriff's department, medical care, you know, on and on and on, and it's definitely changed. You know, I wouldn't have disagreed with you probably 5 years ago. Now, I think it's time for a speed study. And again, if I was to request it, I would have requested some distance west of the hospital. And we're not looking at, like I say, it's not like we're trying to slow the area down in the middle of a 55 zone. We're talking about a simple extension of a mile or a mile and a half. And if that slows down traffic for 30 seconds, so be it. It may save somebody's life because the severity of the traffic accident could be that much less. That's my take on it. But it's got to come from you guys. It can't come from us. Otherwise, I'd be pushing it at our board. That's the way the game they play.
After the meeting, I sent an email, or I talked to Patty O'Donnell at that meeting, and asked her to send me a sample resolution, which she did. We have a sample resolution. I had assumed that we would get someone from that committee would have gotten in contact with us and asked us to follow through with that, other than yourself.
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, Guy, you signed up for that, didn't you? Have you heard
Well, there's
anything
the
from
next
Patty?
meeting.
Is there?
It's the 22nd of September.
Yeah.
I would look at it in this way. If you guys did something on it and sent it on its way, who knows when it's going to happen?
Well, I want to make sure that there's an interest in doing this other than just a few individuals. Now, if that committee comes to this board and asks us to do that, we'll probably follow through with it. And in all honesty, Jeff, we're getting very close to the end of the busy time of the year. And the traffic study, in all fairness, should be done in June, July, and August. Is that a fair assumption?
No, I think it should be done
January, February,
2 times
Twice.
a year. Okay? I mean, June, July, and August is not an accurate count on traffic either. It's what I just said a moment ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, if you're going to slow it down one time a year, it's a speed limit. You need to train people, like we were debating that day. You know, if you have a posting, people get used to that posting. It's no different than going through 30 miles an hour in a little stretch or 40 miles an hour. I mean,
You know, I guess people have to somewhat be responsible for themselves. And you can't fix that with a traffic speed limit. I'm sorry. If something's coming, if we've sat there and waited to get across the road for a minute and a half and can't get there, well, by golly, the next half a shot, I'm going.
and I'd rather see
There's no pill
try
for
to
that.
slip in at 40 miles an hour traffic as opposed to 55 mile an hour traffic.
Why not wait for an opening is my point, Chuck.
Yeah, if it's a general consensus of that committee that they would like us to do that, or formally let us know that they'd like us to do that, we would probably pursue that. I have a sample resolution here.
Okay,
Okay,
that's your call.
is that all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Anything for me?
No, sir, I can't think of anything.
Hate to see you leave.
Well, we gotta go eat. It's been a long day. I haven't had anything since breakfast, so.
I think you'll make it.
Well, I got some reserves. All right, I'll see you.
Thank you.
folks.
Thank you.
Good night.
Fire department, you guys been doing anything?
Oh, we've been steady. For the month of July, you have to do the zoning one?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry. Jeff.
That's all right.
That's all right.
You got anything to report?
I had 9 receipts in the month of July. 3 land divisions, 3 additions, an accessory building, a special land use permit application. The last one was for garbage bags. Somebody came in when I was the only one here. So. Yeah, I don't want to speak about the MDOT meeting anymore.
Okay.
There's going to be, they put together a study group,
Correct.
and they're meeting on the 22nd.
Yes.
That's fun. The news. We had a meeting last Friday with the city, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Connie and John. We have an agreement with them. We just need the lawyers to write it up and send us a copy and
Right.
be doubly sure for water service.
There were
There was 2 issues that needed to be made. 16B, I think, was one of them, in the billing.
Right.
And the lawyers were going to take care of that, and then we're going to come back to the table and make sure that that's what we need. And I think we're real close.
Yep, I do too. So we should have sanitary sewer and city
Water.
and municipal water in the district, in the commercial district. So,
Well, thanks for all your efforts, because I know you people have put an awful lot of work into that.
yeah.
It's been since 2011,
Yeah.
September 2011.
We see the drain commissioners here, so I'm not going to talk about McGinnis Kroner drain, because I don't have any information that he doesn't have.
Just a minute, he'll give that report if he would,
Yep.
please. Are you all set?
I'm done.
Any questions for Guy? If not, Chaz, it's your turn.
All right. We had a total of 37 activities for July. 9 fire-related, 22 medical, and 6 station trainings and meetings. Personnel hours were 372, with the chief and officers were 161. So 533 hours for the month of July. I did get a quote on the stenciling the ladder truck. So we'll look into that. It was around $780 to stencil it. The rescue truck, we did put a new light bar on it because the old light bar we were working on, it kept blowing lights. So we did add side lights too, because of pulling out from Wesco there. It's a pretty hazardous place to pull out, and that truck gets used quite a bit. So those are on. We did have it in for a front end alignment, rotated the tires. We'll be looking at, we need some tires, so we'll be looking at getting some tires for it. I'll check that supplier we got the tires from 131 on to keep the cost down. We also have 134, it's got a small air leak. We can't trace it down ourselves, so have to have somebody come look at that. We still have the old 133, I know Denny was looking into some options of getting rid of that. But we did get credit for that for our ISO as a reserve truck, so that helped out. We put some stuff back on it before he got here. So, as far as the station, if you folks have probably noticed, we moved forward with a training facility for the association for the county. Cleaned out all that locust, which is some pretty wild wood and root systems. I got all that down there at the far end. piled up, we'll burn that, and there was a pile of like scrap topsoil. I'll have that spread hopefully before Monday, so it looks dressed up. Did some ditching in there because the water wouldn't drain off the parking area. And they got the gravel laid in there, and then we had some propane training last night. They sprayed water all over it, and it hadn't settled yet, so I had to reshape it this morning, and I'll have to redo some grading on that the next day or two. We've got about 28 hours just in that machine doing that stuff, and I'll probably have another 5, 6, 8 hours for some other stuff we want to do. In the training facility, we still have those, the gravel and stuff was revenue sharing money, and we're going to be setting those. We pushed the connexes forward, but if you look where the gravel's at, there's like a little L shape over there, and that's where the containers are going to go eventually, hopefully in the next week or two. We had trouble finding a crane, but now it sounds like we have an option for a crane to set them, so that was one of the issues we had. Equipment, we finally got into the cycle before's revenue sharing, the last 2 items. So that cycle's all done, so now we'll move forward with that 1,300 I believe we got for the nozzles. We'll be sending in some SCBA tanks for hydrostatic testing, we'll review every 5 years. Pump and ladder testing should be coming up soon, and that'll happen up at the road commission. We'll do 131, 134, and 132. The ladder truck is currently certified, so we're not going to mess with that one this year, but it will be in there next year. Our radios, those PR400s, they're getting older, and through the 911 board, we get equipment replaced to them, so as our radios go out, they'll be replacing with a new Motorola radio, which are pretty nice. A couple of departments have them already. We do get some good equipment through that. We get headsets and stuff like that. We put in a request twice a year, and they give us stuff through that, so that money's going. That's a nice deal. Doesn't cost us anything. Training, we're still doing driver's training. We've had more people just take the emergency driving course. In pump operations, we've been doing a lot of stuff out there. We had the ISO folks come by. We had a big old book to give them, and they were here 20 years ago. So there was one guy, I guess he came the last time too, so he's out of Lansing, he does the whole state. And we sat with him for a couple hours. A couple of the big items were our training records were more up to date from 20 years ago, of course. It took a while to get them back up to speed. One of the things he said right off the top was our rating from a 6.9 should go down to at least I think an 8A or 8B, because if a department has the equipment we have, the rural rating should go down. With the automatic aid with East Lake, we can count their equipment. So when we show up to a fire, we actually have around like 9,000 gallons of water to start with. So that was a huge benefactor. The ladder was a benefactor. It'll take about 120 days to get the final results. But since they were here so long ago, we have a sheet of different businesses and places like that that we have to update for them, because they don't go around as much anymore. They don't do the hydrant testing anymore. We do that. They'll send us stuff on how to do it. There was a couple things like that that we have to catch up on. They had a map, didn't have all the hydrants on there. Had some old
Would you
information.
say the rating's gonna go from what to what?
It should go, the 9 number should go down, but we're not sure how far to go down. And then if we want to improve that number, we can challenge it with flowing water. I believe it's 250 gallons a minute for 2 hours, sustained flow, which shouldn't be a problem. You know, 20 years ago, we didn't have those 2 newer tanker trucks or tenders for flow water, so that's a huge benefactor. And they don't even come monitor that anymore. They used to come monitor it and sit there with a clipboard and timer. Now you fill out a summary and you videotape it for them, so which is nice. They're not standing there breathing down your back. So if you screw up the first time, you can stop, take 2, start over. So, and then there was a thing with Onekama we need to work out with automatic aid for the far road area up in there. They have some information, so we'll have to sit down and talk about that. So those folks' numbers up there, since they're so far away, they would benefit from that. With Onekama being automatic aid up there. So. Overall, it went pretty well. I did go to that US 31 quarter meeting also, and I'll be at that next meeting. I volunteered for that study group. I did ask about the flashing caution light on our current fire truck signs that probably no one sees anyway. They have them out there at West Shore. And anything that can help pull out of Westville, you're in a corner. It's such a blank corner. People are going pretty fast in there, so. I sent the fellow the information. He said you had to at least like have 50 runs a year, and I said, well, we're above that easily. And then there was distances from the light and stuff like that. So I think we fit all the criteria, but I haven't heard back from them. That $250 donation we got a while back, we're going to put it towards a laptop, so we can keep track of stuff a little easier for us. When we do reports, we do them right there at the station when we're done. So I believe that's all I have.
I got a question, Chuck.
Yeah.
I've been asked numerous times, I've seen numerous times, several, since the wood pile, brush pile, call it whatever you want, on the north end of the property has been stacked up there. What is our intentions with that?
Well, when it dries, it cures a little bit more, we'll burn it. So it'll be, that pile won't be there anymore. That's about it. We don't have a way to haul it off, so we can just burn the brush pile there on a good day when the wind's right, when the temperature's right and all that. So it's got to cure a little bit.
Okay.
I tried to get it down there, it was kind of, so it's not such a big eyesore. The rest of it looks pretty nice.
Now I know how to answer it.
Any other questions? Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
Again, please convey our
I'm always passing on
to the troops.
Thank you for the support.
Liquor inspector, there's no significant changes. Jeff gave the Oaks quarterly report. Cromer McGinnis Drain meeting is canceled for the 27th. Is that correct, Tom? Can you give us an update on that project?
I don't, we haven't went very far because we hired Safe Title to do the searches for the easements, and about halfway through, they sold out to Lighthouse. And so that threw us back for a couple of weeks, and we would have been ready by now. Hopefully by next week, I think we're down to one piece of property that we're still searching, and they tell me it should be by next week. Then what we're going to do is put out the bids. Then what we'll do after that, when I get the bids in and we pick it, then I will have a meeting, I will have a courtesy meeting and explain to everybody what we're doing. I think it's probably about the easiest to do instead of explain to them that I really don't, you know.
We anticipated in September sometime?
Yeah, because I want to be done by the end of October with the project. That's what we're really pushing for. So it's getting close. And they prefer the cooler weather when they're going to put the liner in, because that's what we've decided we're going to do with it. They prefer it doing it in the cooler weather. So I guess we're going to be all right with that. We'll probably definitely have cool weather.
Do you have a list of properties involved in that?
Yeah, but not with me.
Can we get that from you?
Yeah, I can. The property that we're working on right now is the hospital. There's a piece of property up there in the hospital that they're doing the title search on.
No, I meant the properties that are involved in the assessment, that will be involved in the assessment.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, she's working on them right now. I'll give you a list. She hasn't quite got the list all put in the computer yet. I think it was 329, I think. I know it's over 300.
329 parcels?
Yeah. And she's putting them all in the computer, and she'll probably be done by next week sometime. She'll have them in because she had a pretty good chunk left. So I'll give them to you as soon as I get them.
We appreciate that very much.
And how will the parcel owners be notified of this assessment?
That's why she's putting the project together, because we're going to be sending out letters. Yeah. And actually what she's doing it for the tag to put out.
Is this going to be a per parcel assessment? I mean,
Yeah.
a lot is going to be the same as 40 acres? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so per parcel.
And also, if the person has two, say 40-acre lots or parcel, and they're combined, we're going to consider it one. We're not going to, you know. See what I mean?
Okay, we'll see when we get the list.
Yeah.
Any questions? No? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm gonna leave too.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Anything under unfinished business? Might want to get a little update on the groundbreaking today, your celebrity, sir?
Yeah, we had, the tribe had groundbreaking ceremonies at or near the casino right out there by the big sign on the corner of 22 and 31. And there was representation there from the state, from the DEQ, from the county, from the tribe, obviously, the township, and I'm sure I'm overlooking some others. And I shouldn't assume we all know, but they've been working on the sewer project now for over a week. So that is expected to be completed late this fall.
Any questions?
All the way to Ivy Lane completed?
That is my understanding, and I hate to, pardon?
Both phases.
Yes.
Okay.
I hate to make commitments because all through this project, if I say right, that lasts for a few days and winds up going left. But my understanding is, yes, both phases, yes, it'll all be completed late this fall.
That's what's being done out there now, along the highway?
Yes, out near the hospital, the jail.
That's where they started.
I didn't get past there today. Yesterday it was from Kemmer Road about to, it was to the old liquor store, if you know where I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember
Right.
that. It's just going to the jail, it's not going beyond the jail, it's a branch going off to the jail, there's what's happening there.
Go to the
it's
jail,
going-
hospital, medical care.
It's going all the way up the hill to the intersection of 22.
There's nothing closer to the river than the jail, or the river swamp there than the jail, that's the.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
I saw heavy equipment in there, and I said, are they going down over the hill, or what's happening here?
No, there's a lift station.
Should have gone right
going in
there.
front
That's why
of
that
that.
big hole's there.
Because other than that, the tribe wouldn't do that, but that had some, probably some cultural sensitive areas down over that hill, I know there is.
Anyone else? Anything else under unfinished business? Under new business, the Manistee County Humane Society is asking for permission to have their annual Tag Day fundraiser. That fundraiser would be on August 21st and 22nd. They've done this in the past, no?
No, August 20th and 21st. Oh, I'm sorry, they're correcting the
Yeah.
dates to the 21st and the 22nd. I apologize. You're right.
What?
The first request was wrong, had the wrong dates.
Correct.
Okay. At any rate, they've done this in the past. They go to the different businesses and solicit funds for the homeward bound animal shelter. Do we need that in the form of a motion?
Can I ask a question?
Sure you
Why do we need to, I'm new to this, why do we need to approve it?
I can't answer that question. I just know that when there's solicitation such as poppy days and things like that, where they stand in front of a business and solicit, that they've always come to the board.
Okay.
I can't, I don't know why
It's
they
just,
evidently there's something out there that says, it suggests that they do that. And I think this is probably, if nothing else, a consideration.
well, yeah, which is nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also think because of working on the copy one, it's to make you aware. So when the call comes in, who is this clown standing out there selling me whatever, that there is some
Do we
legitimacy.
authorize it?
Yeah.
Okay.
that it's legit.
So not being sure if we need to handle this in the form of a motion, we will. So I would entertain a motion that the Manistee County Humane Society be allowed to hold their annual tag fundraiser for Homeward Bound on August 21st and 22nd.
I'll support that.
Okay? Been moved, supported that we allow Manistee County Humane Society to have their flag, tag day sale on 21st and 22nd, 2015. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Next item is a budget amendment for the 2015-16 budget. In light of everything that's going on around here, this is something that is new to all of us, me especially, with the construction of the sewer project and possible expenditures with the water system. Somewhere in our budget we need to have a capital improvement fund. We currently do not have that fund. We need to have, for bookkeeping purposes, you can explain it there, right? Please.
Do we need a line item? Is that
At
it?
this point in time, we simply need a line item in our operating budget that's designated as capital outlay. We have the provision there, but in our 2015-16 fiscal year budget, we did not fund that line item.
I see.
And so what we need to do at this time is fund that capital outlay line item in our operating budget. Going forward in the future, we also need to create a capital operating budget, but that's not something we have to do today. It is something we need to do over the winter to get ready for the next year. Today, we only need to fund that line item so that we can take care of the capital improvements involved with the sewer and or water as it progresses for the rest of the fiscal year.
It's a, as Diane suggested, it's a bookkeeping matter that needs to be taken care of so that, well, I'll give you an example. We secured a parcel of property for a lift station, and we didn't have money in a capital improvement fund to purchase that, so we have to put money in there so that everything is according to law. Correct?
So what we would do is effectively transfer money from savings to the operating budget. So the funds would be there to cover the operating expenses as they are incurred during our current fiscal year.
And the amount that I think we should transfer is we should transfer $250,000 into the capital improvement fund. That's probably more, hopefully more than we're going to need, but it would prevent us from having to come back and do this again.
Okay.
So I would entertain a motion to transfer $250,000 into the capital improvement fund.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported that we transfer $250,000. Is that from the general budget?
No, because
It's
the
from
budget didn't have this, we have to move this from savings.
Savings.
We're moving from savings.
Well, just so everybody, myself included, understands.
Okay, so if we can reword the motion to say, motion to modify the 2015-16 operating budget to increase the operating transfer revenue by $250,000 and increase the operating capital outlay expenses by $250,000 by transferring the money from savings into the operating budget.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
And that's your second?
That's my second.
Any further discussion?
Sounds like
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Feinau,
Yes.
Mr. Dons,
yes.
Ms. Jankowitz,
Yes.
Taylor, yes. Mr. Berquist.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay. The August election report, Diane will give that report, but I'd like to say that those ladies put in a tremendous amount of work for 54 voters.
That's what there was.
But if you give the report, please.
Sure. Manistee Township had 2,555 registered voters, and of those voters, 291 sent in absentee ballots, and 54 people came to the precinct to vote. So out of that 2,500 registered voters, we only had 345 ballots on the community college proposal in August. But the positive side is our voting rate was 13.50 registered voters cast a ballot. The county average was only 7.85. So even at that, Manistee Township gets kudos because we had the highest in the area. But it was a really, really poor turnout.
It was a slow day.
Very, very slow day. Very slow.
Well, well, I'd just like to thank Diane and the crew for their work, because I know that they put in a tremendous amount of work into this.
Well, we tracked 258 hours to have those 345 ballots.
But the positive side is this was kind of like a trial run, because next November, I think you're going to get a whole lot busier.
Well, we have one in March. There'll be an election in March, so yes, next year will be a busy voting year.
Thank you again for all your. I don't know if this is new business, old business, whatever it might be, but I would like to, on behalf of the board, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dan Revolt for all his work that he does around here. I don't know if you noticed, but the grounds, playground, fire department around here all looks very good. He does a nice job, and I think that, thanks Dan for the work you do.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Keeps the candy dish full.
Yeah. That's a job.
Don't keep it away from Jenny.
And anybody who used Zimmerman Lane over here, the non-motorized path, if you notice that the grass is cut back and the branches are off the walkway and things like that, if you see Alan Young, tell him thanks, because he spends a lot of time over there keeping that cleaned up and grass cut. And he brought it to our attention, there was a near miss on Hahn Road. We're going to put some stop signs up there. Some people that were unfamiliar with the area were going to ride their bikes down through there. Didn't stop for the road, almost got hit by a car. So there's going to be stop signs put up there to alleviate that problem. Anything else? You've received the current bills for August.
I make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented, placed as
I'll second that.
Been moved and supported that the bills be allowed, paid, as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? The Manistee County MTA meeting will be Wednesday, August 26th, 7 p.m. at the Filer Township Hall. Bar Lake Improvement Board will meet Monday, August 17th, that's this coming Monday, here at the Township Hall, 7 p.m. Zoning Board of Appeals, if there is one, will be September 1st, here at the hall, 7 p.m. Planning Commission will meet Thursday, September 3rd, here at the Township Hall, 7 p.m. And the next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, September 10th, at 7:30 p.m. Any other public comment? Oh, one thing I'd like to mention is that deadline for the Revenue Sharing Board grants need to be in by September 4th at 5 p.m.